Cars heading out on track. Will Blackwell Chambers is on pole position, but it's this man here, Jack Moody, made it through to the A race after finishing 4th in race 1. Let's see how they get on. Jake, over to you.
Really looking forward to this one, the first of our second races of the season. It is usually more feisty than the first. Blackwell Chambers and Oliver Allwood on the front row from Sam Smith and Brian Trott. Martin Tolley and Charlie Burge on row 3 from John Langridge and Stuart Simmons rounding out row 4. In the top 10, Teddy Clark and Mike Comber are there from Adam Craig and Jason Greatrex. Stephen Bowden and Simon Orange on the 7th row from Sebastian Fisher and Michael Fisk. Then we have Lewis Cannon, Courtney Milnes, Oliver Robinson, and then we have our 5 who made it through from Group B. Paul Tucker, Simon Woods, Charlie Rawls, Jack Moody and Nick Ladoyan. In that order, they were the top 5 in the first of the Group B races, so they make the A race. Lights on, wait for it, let's race again at Brands Hatch. Cracking start from Blackwell Chambers. Brian Trott's got a much better start. He's going to outdrag Smith and potentially Oliver Allwood as well. It's 3 wide behind them as Langridge gets boxed in, so everybody's going to go for the move, but Trott is going to get hung out to try and down to 4th position as they make their way through Paddock Hill Bend. Blackwell Chambers leading the way again. But it won't be long before this battle continues between the likes of Blackwell Chambers, Allwood and Smith. And in fact, it's those 3 in the top 3 as they make their way through Druids for the first time. No major surprises. Martin Tolley's got a good getaway. He pops himself in front of Burge. Langridge is going very long, trying to get up alongside Stuart Simmons and outdrag Comber. Has he got there? Side by side, door to door. He's not quite going to be able to have the drag, but look at Blackwell Chambers. He's already disappearing out in front. Smith in 2nd place, Allwood in 3rd from Trott and Tolley. Blackwell Chambers is checking out. Hold on, boys, you're going to have to work together to catch him. Brilliant stuff for Simmons there in the middle of the pack. They come off of Clark and down towards Clearways, and Blackwell Chambers is just gone. Smith in 2nd place. Allwood in 3rd, Trott is in 4th position. Trott's going to try and make the move on Allwood. They've got to work together here. They've got to work a bit like kart racers to basically work in sync, to use the draft, to push each other forward and hope that they can break down the deficit to Blackwell Chambers, which is already over a second. Not sure how he did that. He just got the perfect of starts, Will Blackwell Chambers, and just sprinted away. Meanwhile, we've got Simmons there battling away with Comber and Langridge as they continue to scrap away over the positions. Breaking down, careful Stuart, you don't want to lock up this early. Spending about 20 minutes on a very spent set of tyres is not going to be pleasant, so he doesn't want to turn it into 50p pieces. He's working hard. Smith, Allwood, Trott, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th place Martin Tolley. It's basically battle resumed from race 1 for these 3. Tolley, Burge, Simmons, Comber, Langridge, Fisk. The rest of the battle continues on unabated all the way down to the back, and here are some of the guys who have made it through from the previous race. That's Jack Moody, the 544, in there in front of the 101 Simon Woods. They were battling in the first of the Group B races. Now they've made it to Group A. It's always a great incentive. The bottom 5 from Group A get relegated to B. The top 5 from Group B get promoted. It always means that the Group B drivers get to race for something. But up at the front, this is what they're racing for victory, for glory, and for a bit to catch up with Will Blackwell Chambers. How is he that far ahead? I know he's a great driver, I know he's the reigning champion, but these guys should not be letting him disappear out into the distance this early. It's only lap 3. Sam Smith in 2nd, 3rd is Oliver Allwood, 4th is Brian Trott. 5th position, Martin Tolley still in there. Charlie Burge in the 94 appears to still be 6th for the moment. I'll just double check as we look back. Well, no, we're going to cut back to this battle. It's the 88 of Simmons as he hangs on in front of Langridge and Comber. These guys were having an absolutely terrific battle. There is Burge in 6th position, so Simmons is 7th, then Langridge, Comber, and behind him, I'm not entirely sure who that is running around in 10th position. We'll have to double check when they come through. The 88 looking very strong and very superior at the moment. In 10th position, that is Fisk. So Fisk has worked his way forward, the number 8, and now has cracked the top 10. Langridge goes for the move on the inside of Simmons. Door to door, both drivers leave space. They tend to in Mazda MX-5. There's no dirty drivers on this grid. Down to Graham Hill Bend. Simmons just about giving Langridge space, but not a lot. And Comber very nearly managing to pick up the pieces from that one. Through to Surtees once again. This battle is just going to keep getting better as the laps tick down. Langridge again has a look, trying to make his way through on the inside. Nothing doing at the moment as Langridge holds on to that inside line. He's getting good draft from Simmons, but he's also creating great draft for the man behind him in Mike Comber. But they're getting closer, all 3 of them collectively, to Charlie Burge in the 94, so they need to keep pushing up towards Paddock Hill Bend. Good positioning there from Simmons to hold Langridge at bay while also drawing in Mike Coomber. This could be a very interesting run up to Druids. Up on the inside, Langridge is going to go for the overtaking move. Will he get there on the inside of Simmons? Yes, he does. Coomber very nearly stole an opportunity to get up on the inside as well. Not quite able to in the bitter end of it. He had to back out of it. So down into Graham Hill Bend once again. Off the turn. Plenty of curve from Charlie Burge up front. That's how hard he's pushing to try and get away from Langridge et al. Back at the front, they have worked together. Blackwell Chambers' lead is dissipated, and Sam Smith is right in there in second. Third is Allwood, fourth is Brian Trott. That's the thing, if you work the draft and cooperate with each other, you can break down any gap. And Blackwell Chambers knows that. He knew he was never going to dominate this one. This is Mazda MX-5 racing. If you dominate, it's pretty much a miracle. Anyway, here's the opportunity for Sam Smith as he closes right up on Blackwell Chambers. He's not going to throw it up the inside yet. He needs to know for certain that he's going to get through. Blackwell Chambers is going to defend beautifully, so he's got to be crafty and he's got to catch him out when he's not suspecting a move. That one was just far too obvious, so he backs out of it. They come out of Druids. He's very, very close. Blackwell Chambers knows every trick in the book from Sam Smith. Oliver Allwood there in third position. We'll be watching on closely as well with Brian Trott in there from third on the original grid of race one, but still in the top four on pure pace and still in the top four in race trim. But now these four really have got away from the likes of Martin Tolley and Charlie Burge. They are now a distant memory in the background. But Will Blackwell Chambers is hanging on to the lead. If he can make it 2 out of 2, that is the perfect textbook start to the 2018 title defence. But Sam Smith is not going to let him take it lying down. He gets very close as they come over the start-finish line. Again, he's not going for the move. He's letting Will Blackwell Chambers do all the work. Burn out his tyres. Drink all his fuel. I'm just going to sit behind you, and I won't be working the engine, the tyres, the car, the fuel, any of that anywhere near as hard just by following in procedure. He'll have power in reserve, of course, then he can get out of the draft at the critical moment in the closing stages of this race and sweep by to take the win. But that's Will Blackwell Chambers he's battling with. He's not going to give him an inch. They come off the straight once more. Flat on the throttle through the left-hander. Easy down on the power, brake, turn in, back on the power through the right-hander at Clark. Great racing. How about this in the midfield as well? There's great battles further back as that's the 77. Stephen Foden leading a charge of cavalry behind him. Jason Greatrex is in there in the 33. Then it's Adam Craig. Then Simon Orange in the 67. Remember his wayward slip last time? He's not going to want to do that again this time. He's going to want to have a much cleaner run. Here comes Orange trying to go for the outside of Craig. And there's two more in there trying to battle away as well. That is the 81 in there of Sebastian Fisher. And I think he's battling in there with, well, Stephen Foden was at the front of this queue, wasn't he? We're trying to see who that is up the inside. That is the 43 in the mix. So that is Lewis Cannon, who has fought his way back from the back row of the grid in race one. And he's picking off cars like raisins at the moment as he chips them off one by one, making progress through the field. Oh, Simon Orange very nearly chucked it away again there. Good save again from Simon Orange. The car just getting a little bit wayward out of Graham Hill Bend. Plenty of curve. The car started sliding. Don't you dare! Don't you dare! So, absolutely brilliant. Holds it together. So the 43 continues on. Lewis Cannon as he makes progress. Having got past Sebastian Fisher, or certainly gone under the tail of Sebastian Fisher, he will now be sizing up a move. Here comes the 29, Adam Craig, making the move on the inside if he can of Jason Greatrex. Still nothing doing. Greatrex hanging on resiliently. There's no cheap overtaking moves today. You've got to fight for it, and here he comes. Greatrex is going to try and slam the door shut. Beautiful. That is the masterclass, textbook, how to do it. A copybook move there from Greatrex to move across and stop Craig coming through. Orange is there on the inside line as well, potentially on the exit. So if Craig gets boxed in behind Greatrex, Orange could go with him. Here we go. He's got a nose up the inside, Jason. Watch to your left side. Adam Craig at Ada Clark as he tries to come through on the inside. There's a little bit of a rub of the doors. Orange is going to create a door of opportunity for himself to come through on the inside. That'll do nicely. Can he hold it? Side by side. Watch out for Lewis Cannon in the 43. He's going to try and come through as well. That's the 81 first, though. Sebastian Fisher. Fisher gets up alongside Craig. Orange is already through. Fisher's coming through on Craig as well. And Lewis Cannon has the best seat in the house watching it all. There on the inside. Oh, the 81 got past Craig, but actually it looked as though Fisher was having a go at Orange, and that's compromised him. Craig is back through on the inside, and Lewis Cannon might be able to get the move stick as well. Here comes Craig, up on the inside. not running anybody out of road, but great battling nonetheless. Allwood there in third position. Brian Trott in fourth place, back with the leaders, and Blackwell Chambers and Sam Smith have broken away a little bit, not much. Allwood is still there in third with Brian Trott in fourth position, breathing down his neck. Out of clearways, down the straight once again. Still, the battles continue unabated. Terrific racing from the Mazda MX-5 Championship. Absolutely supreme racing. Down through Paddock Hill Bend once again, up and over the curves. Oh, this is marvellous racing and a perfect way to start the season. Allwood still being given pressure from Brian Trott. Trott in the 83. Very quick over one lap. That's what keeps him in the battle. Quicker than Allwood in qualifying. Allwood has got the overhaul on him through the races so far, but Trott is not one to say die. He will keep battling. Down the straight once again. Flat on the throttle through the left-hander. Plenty of curb. The car bouncing around for Allwood as he takes a little bit too much curb for my liking, but he's got plenty of grip and great control. So he is the kind of driver who can hang that out on the line and keep it coming back. Out of clearways once again. Blackwell Chambers and Sam Smith trying to stretch out the gap. Oliver Allwood resisting. Brian Trott trying to hang in touch as they come across the line once again. Blackwell Chambers still under this immense pressure from Sam Smith. All it's going to take is one overtaking move from the 36, and Blackwell Chambers is going to have a whirlwind of difficulty to deal with because Allwood is right there. Brian Trott is not far away either, and Trott is actually making up some of the time he lost on Oliver Allwood on that lap. So he is getting closer once again. Goodness me, how is this one going to play out? Because we've got Blackwell Chambers and Sam Smith absolutely at loggerheads in terms of sector pace. They're almost level. Blackwell Chambers slightly ahead of Sam Smith, but there's only about 3 cars width between them at the moment. There we look back, there is Tolley in 5th position in front of Langridge and Burge. So Langridge has got himself back into 6th position. Good work from John Langridge. Now he needs to start attacking Martin Tolley in the 23. Who, to be fair to Martin, has had a cracking run from 10th on the grid in the first race to come up to the top 5. He's still there in the second race, but this has been a fairly boring race by Martin Tolley's usual standard because he's not quite able to run with the top 4, and he's now having to fend off the charging pair behind him of John Langridge and 94, that is Charlie Burge. Down out of Paddock Hill Bend once again. And still Langridge has a chance to close up on Martin Tolley. He will want to do everything he can to get through into the top 5. That inside line for the start of race 3 could be very crucial indeed. Everybody who started to the outside line has ended up just being squeezed out of a potential run to the lead, and the pole sitter or those to the inside line have always had a little bit more of an advantage. So lining up in that 5th position is where Tolley wants to be if he can't go for the top 4. 5th will do. It's also the personal pride of winning your own private battle in the midst of the race. You want to come home in front. I thought it was a lady on the side of the car. I have seen that before. It's hands. My apologies, Martin. I do apologise. I'm seeing things. It must be my old age. Anyway, Martin Tolley going down the straight. I thought it was a lady on the side of his car. I've seen cars very similar decals like that in the past. Martin, I'm terribly sorry. I wouldn't want to suggest anything of you of that notion, my friend. Anyway, I'm sure he'll get me back for it at Snetterton. Second round of the championship. Oh, I don't half feel a plank. Anyway, Martin Tolley battling away for position there in 5th place with John Langridge. And still, we've got this battle charging behind. That's Charlie Burge being caught now by Mike Comber. Comber's reeling him in. Fisk is in there as well. There is Mike Comber, the 158. And it looks as though he's going to be giving a bit of a charge of a cavalry, because behind him we've got Fisk, we've got Teddy Clark, we've got Stuart Simmons in there. So many drivers in this mix for the 5th position. Martin Tolley could become the head of a 6 or 7 car train here. At the moment it's going to be a 7 car train. If Martin Tolley could just hang on to it, that would be pretty impressive for 5th position. But it is going all the way down to the wire. Let's see if he can get his move on the inside line as he dives through one more time. Up and out of Paddock Hill Bend. A run up the hill once again. This is going to be an interesting one to see how this one shapes itself out, because both Fisk and Clark are looking particularly racy at the moment. Stuart Simmons at the back of the queue has got a great view of how it's all going to unfold, and he's running out of time to get his nose stuck in and take places and take names. So hopefully he will try and do that within the next couple of laps. They come back off the straight into the left-hander. Glorious to watch them all in unison as they continue to power on the pressure, but this is the point in the race when the tyres are starting to squeal. You can hear it more. They're pushing harder. The tyres are at their maximum temperature at this point of the race. They're starting to go off. Drivers are needing to nurture the car as much as push the car, and it's all about how you can bring that car home in one piece. Great racing in the second race of the weekend. The third one is usually the ding-dong battle, because we'll get quite a few drivers pushing it over the limit then. But getting yourself a good position for that race is the aim of the game here in this battle. And for 5th position they run. Still chirps of the tyres through Druids as they drop down out of the hill once again. And that is the 8 of Michael Fisk, starting to get very eager once again. So let's see if he can get up and over the curves and pushing hard. Michael Fisk still working the car hard. Now there is the leader, Will Blackwell Chambers, in front of Sam Smith. Smith has never quite been able in this race to get close enough to really hassle Will Blackwell Chambers for an overtaking manoeuvre. It looks to me as though Blackwell Chambers just basically got caught in the gaggle of the slipstream, but what he has been able to do is resolutely hang on to that lead. He's not going to give it up. Little puff of smoke from the back of Will Blackwell Chambers' cars as he just lights up the tyre on the left rear, just pushing it that little bit hard to try and get away from Sam Smith. Working fine at the moment, keeping the car right on the ragged edge. I love watching Will Blackwell Chambers at work, and particularly his onboards are glorious to behold. He came into 2018 bags full of confidence after his title success last year. Looks as though he's going straight back in for the action once again, but Sam Smith is one of the drivers who is going to be pushing him all the way through this season. And by the time they get to Snetterton, he will already have devised a strategy to overhaul Blackwell Chambers in one lap pace, as he did in qualifying earlier, but has not quite been able to do so in race 1, and is still struggling to in race 2 as they come off the corner once again at Clearways and down the stretch once more. Blackwell Chambers hanging on in front of Sam Smith. Time running out here, and all going well for the reigning champion, but Sam Smith will not give up. He will not quit. He's going to chuck everything at it he can. Down the stretch once again out of Paddock Hill Bend and back on the power. You keep the car in 4th gear all the way through there. Drop down 2 more, 2nd gear. Some even brave it in 3rd for Druids, as you get plenty of power on the exit in 2nd. That's where you can really start to overhaul the driver in front for Graham Hill Bend. Into the left. Not a lot of curb for either driver on the entry. A little bit on the exit, just straightens the car up. Then back on the power, up into 4th gear once again. And keep the car flat through Surtees, flat through the early part of McLaren, then start to brake, keep the car, change down to 3rd, keep the car honest through. Back end starts to step out, but you're still confident on the throttle if you've got the car well looked after, and down out of Clearways over the straights. An amazing lap, the Brands Hatch Indy circuit, and we won't have to negotiate it for much longer, because Blackwell Chambers still getting the hassle from Sam Smith, getting the hurry up as well, because I think this is now the penultimate lap. Down out of Paddock Hill Bend and back up to Druids once again. Sam Smith is trying to do something about Will Blackwell Chambers. He just can't handle him at the moment. He is getting closer under the braking zone, but Will Blackwell Chambers sees him off on the throttle every single time. It's going to need to be a bold move from Sam Smith that gets him into the lead of this race, but he's got to be careful, because Oliver Allwood is there in 3rd position, a few car lengths further back. And then Martin, I was going to say Martin Tolley, but Brian Trott is still there in 4th position. He's fallen right off the back of this trio, has Brian Trott, but he is there with enough distance between himself and the leaders to pick up the pieces if anyone should fall off the road. They come out of the final turn, down towards Clearways, and it really is now or never for Sam Smith as he follows the draft of Will Blackwell Chambers. They come across the line and Smith is starting to look threatening as he goes for a move to the inside. Blackwell Chambers defending. Here we go. This was the battle we thought we were going to see, and there is now 2 laps to go. My apologies. Blackwell Chambers has got Sam Smith all over the back of him. Here we come down into Druids through the right. Blackwell Chambers continuing to protect that inside line. Sam Smith all over the back of him in the 36. Dives down for the inside line if he can get there at Graham Hill Bend. No, he's never going to be able to do that, but he could get a good run up towards Surtees and find a way through to the inside of McLaren. Will Blackwell Chambers will know that trick, but has he got enough to resist it? Yes, he does. Through Surtees and McLaren, the car looks assertive and strong in the hands of Will Blackwell Chambers. Sam Smith is still remorseless. He will continue to push. 3 wheels on the deck and 1 in the air through Clark as he continues to push forward. Down the straight once again. And now over the line as we begin the final hurrah. Last lap, Sam Smith knows it. He's got to push into Paddock Hill Bend. He throws the car in. Now can he keep this going? Up the hill. One more time of asking, Will. You've just got to keep the car together. Keep it going. hold that line, hold it together. Back down the stretch to Graham Hill Bend. Look, he's defending Big Star Blackwell Chambers. He moved the car to the middle of the circuit. Now Sam Smith has got out wide into Graham Hill Bend. He's not going to be able to get the win from there. He almost puts his hand up as if to say, fair enough, Will, you got me. Up through Surtees, up through McLaren and into Clark and Clearways. Will Blackwell Chambers did as he did in race 1. 3 here in race 2. He's going to get another victory and make it 2 out of 2. The only question remains now, will a hat-trick follow down the straight once again, and Will Blackwell Chambers makes it 2 from 2. Sam Smith in second once again from Oliver Allwood. Terrific racing. Absolutely terrific, right to the death. Brian Trott comes home in 4th position. It should be Martin Tolley in 5th, in front of the chasing pack. But 2 out of 2 for Will Blackwell Chambers ahead of Smith and Allwood. Brian Trott is 4th from Martin Tolley. John Langridge in 6th from Charlie Burge, Mike Coomber, Michael Fisk and Stuart Simmons. Blackwell Chambers was fast, Sam Smith was faster. Teddy Clark ahead of Jason Greatrex. Fisher in 13th from Foden, Orange, Craig, Cannon, Tucker, Milnes and Woods. Rounding out the top 20, all covered by just over half a minute, with Charlie Rolls, Nick Ledoyen, Oliver Robinson and Jack Moody completing the field. Race 3 approaches.
2 wins in the start of the 2018 Mark 1 Championship, so can it go any better from here?
Well, we can try and do the triple and do the same as we did last year. That's the goal.
Brilliant. So have you got any plans for tomorrow? Because we do hear it's going to be a little bit wetter outside.
Oh, if it's raining, I'm very, very happy. I'm normally quite quick in the wet, so if it rains, hopefully make a bit of a gap and get away, but if not, I feel Sam's going to push me the whole way through the next race.
Brilliant. So are you ready for the challenge from Sam?
Yeah, certainly ready. We're going to have to try hard, but hopefully if we keep cheeky little defensive manoeuvres, we should be able to stay in front.
Brilliant. Well, congratulations. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Cheers.
Sam, you've gone from 3rd to 2nd in 2 races. How do you feel?
I feel really good. Wasn't the easiest race. I had a good start. A bit of a bump with Brian Trott out of turn 1, which was probably my fault. Managed to get Ollie into Graham Hill Bend, which was a late but fair move, and then Will had a gap. Fortunately for me, he snatched a gear going into Clearways, which enabled him to get on his bumper, and I was so determined to beat him, but he just covered me in all the right places, so yeah, so close, but there's a race to go yet, so hopefully I'll have him some more.
I was going to say, you guys have been racing together for some time now. Do you feel like this year is bringing any new challenges?
Yeah, there's always a new challenge. I mean, Will's always the benchmark. He's always really hard to beat. He's so experienced, he's so consistent, which is the hardest thing. Whereas yesterday, Will went out of the pits on fire. I was about 2 seconds off for the first 2 sessions. I'm still running off the Christmas food. But yeah, we're getting there slowly, but it's always a challenge. And at the end of the day, what I love about this championship is it's so competitive. So even if you're having a bad race and you're 10th, you're still having a good race, which is what matters to me.
Brilliant, fantastic. Well, congratulations and well done. We'll see you tomorrow in race 3A.
Brilliant, yeah, I'll have the big trophy then. Thank you.
I know. So Ollie, that's 2 podium finishes in 2 races. Is this all a bit of luck, or have you got tactics behind it?
Well, I hope it's not luck. No, we've been quick. We were quick last year. I think we're going to be quick for the rest of the year, but we just haven't got enough today to beat Will and Sam. So we need to put our finger out, find a 10th or 2, and I think we've got a chance to maybe beat Top Step.
Brilliant. So have you got anything going in tomorrow? Because I hear it's going to be wet. So have you got any plans ahead of it?
No, pray that it's going to be dry, quite frankly. No idea. We've tested in the wet. We're quick. We know we are. Might liven it up, but I still feel confident being able to be top 3.
Brilliant. So you've got faith in the car?
Yeah, absolutely. The car's brilliant.